KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Welcome to the Parker Edison Project. I'm Parker Edison. In this episode, we look at how religion impacts the culture, specifically rap culture.
Rap and religion are connected because they are the CNN of the streets.
We talked to a professor of religion about the similarities of hip hop and religion and how God changed the rap game.
Rap is a way in which we begin to understand what's happening amongst masses of people. In terms of similarities, the other argument is that they are one and the same. Hip hop is a religion.
And we talked to a world-renowned rap legend about tapping into the higher spirit through rap and choosing morals over money.
The spirit, when I'm at my finest in my zone, connects with Prime Creator like a prayer. And I'm in that state of like creative grace. There's not too much of a synapse of time between the thought process and expression.
And another riveting game of 6 degrees of separate weighings. That's next on the Parker Edison Project.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
I saw something else under the sun. In the place of justice, there was wickedness. In the place of what was right, there was wickedness again. I thought to myself, God will judge both religious, both righteous, and wicked people, because there's a time for every matter and every deed. Oh, he's telling you right here. He's telling you, let me do what I do and fall in. Because you might not always have somebody with you that can pray. You might not always be able to get in touch with somebody that can say a prayer for you, and you need a prayer. God has given you the time. He's given you the time to get closer to him, to become familiar with you know, what's going on, how you're supposed to move.
You are now listening to the Parker Edison Project.
Good morning. Welcome to the Parker Edison Project, where we look at the tenets of culture and things that really make America great. This episode, I get to dive into two subjects I'm very much into, rap and religion. A lot of people don't know that I'm Christian. I was raised Southern Baptist. It's because I don't always feel like arguing the points of its validity. It's also because I think some people are just shocked I believe in God. It makes perfect sense to me, though. I mean, if a Porsche just popped up on your lawn tomorrow morning, you'd be a little bit shocked. You'd be even more shocked if it wasn't from an actual source. It was just because two particles of dust smashed into each other and created a perfectly working machine. The Big Bang Theory never quite made sense to me. Doesn't mean it's not real, it just did make sense to me. Some of y'all are foaming at the mouth right now. Luckily, though, the show doesn't sit completely on that subject. It's about religion as it pertains to rap. Like, for instance, the Ghetto Boys and Scarface. They have this constant duality that they have in their music, where even though they're talking some of the most gangster stuff, there's still a thread of how the supernatural is there. You look at somebody like Beanie Siegel, known knockout artist, but he breaks his bravado and he shows his remorse and his humanity when acknowledging how he falls short of being a good Muslim. One of the biggest proponents of religion in rap is undoubtedly Chicago's Kanye West. When rap was obsessed with crunk beats and bling, Mr. West brought a voice of virtue with lines like, "So here go my single, dog. Radio needs this. They say you can rap about anything except for Jesus."
That means gun, sex, lies, videotape. But if I talk about God, my record won't get played.
The theme of this episode is rap and religion, so it makes sense that my first guest has articles in both the Journal of Hip Hop Studies as well as the Journal of Contemporary Religion. Dr. Roy Whitaker is an associate professor in the Department for the Study of Religion at San Diego State University. He earned his first master's degree at Princeton Theological Seminary, his second at Harvard. His class is a mix of contemporary text, current events, field trips, and guest speakers.
Dr. Whitaker, how are you?
I'm blessed. I'm doing very well, brother. Good to be here with you. It's a pleasure for me to be here to break bread, and it's always good to see you. I'm very happy and thrilled, yet I'm not surprised about your current show on KPBS. There is no one in SD I could think of who is best suited for this medium, and yet perhaps more importantly this moment than yourself, helping bring cultural awareness and cultural diversity to SD and beyond. So the first thing I want to say is I want to salute you and congratulate you on this enterprise that you are embarking on. It's something that's bigger than yourself, and I think you know that. And I think that this will be an important legacy for all of us to be ingratiated in, and it's going to affect a lot of people in positive ways. So I want to thank you for all that you do, and I want to thank KPBS and the larger SDSU community for having you part of this good work that you're doing.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, that's an honor.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
And you mentioned SDSU, and I know you from your connection to the topics of religion and rap. Can you tell me a little bit about your work?
In terms of my work, particularly curriculum development, rap curriculum, and even sort of the evolution of it, what had occurred was back in 2008, I was part of a panel at SDSU called Crisis Carnival. And on this particular panel, I decided to do a paper on rap and religion. It was pretty well received. I was then very fortunate to get invited to create an entire class on hip hop. I developed a class titled Hip Hop Aesthetics for the MALIS program. The MALIS program is the Master of Arts in Liberal Arts and Sciences program at SDSU. I added one small unit on religion, and I was happy to see that the students were quite interested in it. And then there was a call to create a class. This is for the Weber's Honors College. And so I was able to teach the course about hip hop and religion.
Like, what inspired you to teach in on this subject?
I have to give a nod to the love of the arts from my parents. I have to start with them because with them, they gave me the love of Motown. But I come from the love of hip hop culture, I think organically. I'm a big fan of Big Daddy Kane, Chubb Rock, Salt and Pepper, De La Soul. And I try to make it clear in my classes that hip hop is an art too. Hip hop's been around a long time, but scholars have not always looked at hip hop in a serious way.
Let me ask you this. Are there similarities between the disciplines of rap and religion?
They, I think on the surface, can seem to be polar opposites. And I think that knee-jerk reaction is fair. But in terms of the similarities, there's a number that I can note. Rap and religion, first comes to mind is the African griot. This is the West African individual who's a genealogist, sort of the person who can provide the story from the past, the present, and the future of the community. The rapper is part of this archetypal framework. They are the modern day African griot. And I also would note that rap and religion are connected because they are the CNN of the streets. For instance, you turn on NWA's F the Police, and then you can get a sort of a read on what's happening with the Black community and issues of discrimination, police brutality. Today, you could turn on, for instance, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Hear in the lyrics about income inequality, for instance. Rap is, and even religion for that matter, a way in which we begin to understand what's happening amongst masses of people. There's a stronger argument to make too, and that is, in terms of similarities, the other argument is that they are one and the same. Hip hop is a religion.
Oh my God. I gotta let some ass sit in a little bit. That got me. Y'all here dropping gems, boss.
I learned from the best, brother.
You're mentioning how it is rap and religion are both vehicles of messages. It made me think of Pac. There's always the idea that he's still alive in some place. There's kind of this religious connection there. And I just want to know if his work registers with religious scholars, or how does he weigh in?
In order to do hip hop studies, we need to go through Pac. I mean, I don't think any way around it. For me, as I was alluding to earlier, Tupac is not just an urban legend, but an urban prophet. A prophet is simply someone who stands in the place of God, someone who speaks and hears God's message. To me, Tupac represents the paradoxes, the problems, even the possibilities of being a black male in society. The rose that grew from concrete. Tupac talks about, did you hear about the rose that grew from the cracking concrete? This rose, he's going to prove nature's law is wrong. It learned to walk without feet. Funny it seems, he says, but keeping its dreams. It learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete that no one cared. I mean, Tupac is really getting at the idea that where you come from may not be great, but that doesn't necessarily stop you from becoming great yourself. If somebody doesn't address Tupac at some level, then they've missed an important resource in their hip hop studies.
My favorite part of any day, Dr. Roy Whitaker. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate this so much. My pleasure.
Yeah.
We on the West, so I had to ask about Pac. But Dr. Whitaker also shared some insights about a particular East Coast rapper that I'm rather fond of. They were incredibly interesting. We couldn't fit them into this one, but they're so good, we might make an episode just so we could put them out. But that's a different story. Most religious studies courses look at traditional prophets while ignoring what Dr. Whitaker calls prophets of the hood, who struggle to overcome some of the same issues we see addressed in religious stories. Theoretically, that could include MLK, Malcolm X, Tupac, Malala Yousafzai. To me, this idea puts us closer to God by shortening this strange distance we've put between us and our prophets. When we were editing this segment, it really resonated when Dr. Whitaker said today's rappers could be compared to the African griots. I called a guy who called a guy to call a guy to pull some strings and got us on the phones to speak with an official West Coast griot.
Sir, what's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Myka 9, and I'm calling from Los Angeles, California, representing for LA and underground hip-hop around the world, Freestyle Fellowship, Project Blood, Haiku d'Etat, and many other associated crews.
And before I really get into this, I got to ask, because I heard this as a rumor, did you actually write on one of the NWA early albums? Is that a true rumor?
Yes. No, I wrote a couple songs on that joint back in the day, and it was cool. I think they gave me like $50. Easy and Dr. Dre. I remember my first time meeting him was when I first met Warren G. Maybe I was like 14. Warren G might have been 14, and Dre was spinning for Uncle Jam's Army on the platform. And back when he just had the glove and the Jerry Curl shag, like fresh. I remember Easy used to hang out at the hot dog stand with Dwayne Don Jaguar, and we would always kick it at the hot dog stand and rap and write, whatever, play dominoes, play Jamaican-style dominoes. But the shit I was writing was treacherous. I was like, ooh, do you see what I see? What do you see? A sucker, wisdom, Mike, wisdom, stop tripping. Hand me put the clip in. No, I'm about to do this slow. Let me know if he's about to roll. Got you covered. Something up, brother. This is about to get smothered. Let's go, idiot. He made a move down the block with homie rock with the brother. Like, I was already it's 586, bro.
The topic of this episode is rap and religion, because the two run close together. So let me ask you this. Did you grow up in the church?
I definitely am aware of the good church and singing gospel songs as a kid. And there's good black church and with the fans and passing out and all that good stuff. I went to Bethany Baptist Church and did CCD there, the Christian studies there. And I went to St. Bernadette's Catholic Church. But why you ask?
I ask because sometimes your rhyme reminds me of people speaking in tongues. Do you think there's ever something spiritual in what you do?
Absolutely. I would say that the spirit, when I'm at my finest in my zone, connects with Prime Creator like a prayer. And I'm in that state of like creative grace. There's not too much of a synapse of time between the thought process and expression.
Close to chance, the money, most of man, host the band by the border, a little me hot. From Washington, Polly, hammer went to the Grand Palace Tower, in the Mystic in Manhattan like a skyline nano. I was impressed with the classy oldness, and she with me on the shopping spree, watching my bonus. Excuse me, miss, does this come black beer when really bad? I'm good though, I'm bouncing and announcing this or that.
I see.
The higher spirit and ascended master kind of tapping into your higher self for certain tunes and songs depending on the vibe.
In an earlier segment, I spoke with a professor whose curriculum is on rap and religion. And he referred to modern day rappers as modern day griots. Do you have any thoughts of that comparison?
One of our better albums, Freestyle Fellowship, was titled Inner City Griots, but it's actually G Riots because we were mixing it during the riots of Rodney King beating. And it was interesting even then just to be young and learn that knowledge and be like, wait, I'm a young one of those? that's how I'm getting looked at sometimes. We're just some young one of those too? Okay, cool. So now I can jive with that, especially when you listen to some of the music or some of the lyrics in a literary sense, especially some of the earlier inspired stuff.
You're part of the prestigious Project Blowed rap movement, and a staple of that is not selling out, sometimes literally choosing your morals over money. Is that an easy thing to do, or is it harder than it looks?
No, knowing better and doing better are two different things. And I ain't no saint. One, and Project Blowed isn't necessarily a representation as a collective or each individual as a one solid unit of spirituality or morality. Nobody's like anybody's moral, ruler, or you know what I'm trying to say. The core spirituality, I think, is just don't be whack.
Hey, and I'm gonna let you go, but before I do, let me ask you this. This might not even make it into the interview. This is for me. How did you end up doing a song with Jim Jones?
Oh, like that's the Jones. I love the Jones. All good.
You listen to Jim Jones?
I was like, we can poly this out. And I ain't lying. I know red and blue make green, but I know he said it was active. And I was like, man, it'd be an honor. So,
Mike, I'm gonna have to put that in the show. You just dropped game on us right there. That's deep, bro.
I remember it was a big deal though, and people were surprised how, the underground rapper cat, all my different aspects of range, could even touch and blend like that. A variety of cats I rapped with, Corrupt, the Snoop, and all of them. I was gonna be in Death Row. Same day we clicked up Fellowship. The same day they had my jacket and my chain. Don't believe me, ask RBX.
Wait! You said this one more time, just so I got that. Yo, you were gonna rock with Death Row.
Me and Peace, they was gonna have us rock with Death Row. Absolutely. I wrote rhymes for RBX, who is Snoop's big cousin. Going around the corner from his house in Long Beach, first time I meet Snoopy iron in his khakis. And he got like a couple little nickel bags or something. Hell yeah. He's like, oh, I can rap. I can rap too, cuz. He pursued that dream all the way to the top.
Let's drop gems on gems on gems, bro. Thank you.
Well, this all up, man. Thanks again for having me.
If you've ever seen the series Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix, you heard Snoop tell a story of playing Myka 9 in Freestyle Fellowship. Myka is also featured in Ava DuVernay's award-winning documentary, This Is the Life. If you've ever attended a real rap cypher, you know there's something ethereal about it all. It can be otherworldly to see someone tap into the group psyche so precisely he's having a one-on-one conversation with everyone in the room simultaneously. Imagine delivering an unrehearsed 200-word monologue that rhymes on beat with no paper in front of 150 people. That's what it's like to impress a room full of people with a freestyle rap, and Myka 9 is among the elites. He's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, or at least one of them. And again, this interview had so much good stuff, we couldn't fit it all. In fact, you know what? Hey, Dave.
Yeah, P?
Can you put it on the,
on the calendar to use those clips for a separate episode? Yep, got it.
Word. Appreciate it. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're playing 6 Degrees of Separate Ways with the host of Theater Corner. Stay put.
Stay tuned for more of the PE Project.
I love you. I think I always will. Even now, I'm reeling from the effect that you'll have on the rest of my life. I'm different now. As badly as I want to feel the heat between us, I know exactly how this is going to end.
Now streaming at platformcollection.com is the new film short, Run Rick, a who's who of San Diego talent. Brought to you by the good people at Platform Collection.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Parker Edison Project. My roommate and I used to play this game in my house. It's called 6 Degrees of Separate Ways. At one time, Kevin Bacon was the peak of popularity in Hollywood, and that may still be the case. But the almighty Wayans family is giving him a run for his money.
They've been making wild connections, and to show that, I do this thing called 6 Degrees of Separate Weigh-ins. I have a competition where somebody tries to stump me by giving me names of people they don't think I can connect to the Wayans family, and I do it every time. Today, trying to stump me is my guy, Mr. Michael Taylor. He's host and producer of Theater Corner. I'll let him introduce himself.
Parker, I have finally made it. I can write home to my mother and let her know I've made it to the Parker Edison project. So your son is big time now. I appreciate the introduction, brother. Yeah, so I'm Michael Taylor, host and producer of Theater Corner, a theater interview series that was created right here in San Diego by myself and Trevor Neuenswander. We spotlight and sit down with Black actors, directors, playwrights, other theater and film professionals. It's been running for about over 6 years. You know, I've been going to the Globe for a while and for years. And each time I go, I look into the audience and perhaps I see only perhaps a handful of folks that look like myself. People need to see themselves in a space for it to be welcoming. I didn't get the sense that the Black community was aware of these incredibly talented Black actors on the stage, including the Shakespeare stage. And so I just kind of took it upon myself to figure I'd just start interviewing them.
For the fledgling theater fan, the new theater fan, where's a good place to start?
I would say any theater is a good place to start. And it doesn't have to be any fancy theater. There's smaller theaters like the Moxie, diversionary theater, smaller theater. So I would say just go. Perhaps people don't realize just how incredible the experience is.
Okay. I got more questions about that. But before I do, let's get into this game.
Okay.
6 Degrees of Separate Weigh-ins. Give me 2 people that you don't believe I can connect to the Wayans family.
Let's start off with an amazing talent. How about Wendy Raquel Robinson?
You're going to have to deal with Tasha Mack.
From Steve Harvey's show and The Game and all that sizzle.
That's actually an easy one. Only because I'm such a big fan of Wendy Raquel Robinson's work. And she is in, as you said, the Steve Harvey Show.
I'm from Cleveland, y'all.
With Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric the Entertainer is in Haunted House, which is a Marlon Wayans, a family Wayans movie. So 2 people away from the Wayans family.
This guy's good. I got to make this more difficult. Okay, how about, there's Nina Simone.
For the listeners, y'all can't see I'm panicking right now. It's my panic face for the listeners. Nina Simone, my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Taylor has just currently broken the bank.
Got it. It is, Nina Simone is sampled by Kanye West. Kanye West is with Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records. Jay-Z did a song with DMX. DMX was in Romeo Must Die with Anthony Anderson, and Anthony Anderson was in Scary Movie 3 with Kevin Hart and the Wayans family. 6 Degrees.
Impressive. This guy is impressive.
Whew. That was a hard one, man. That wasn't right. You ain't right for that. You ain't right for that.
All right.
How can people watch Theater Corner? Where can they see it?
We're on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Theater is spelled R-E as opposed to E-R, because we're talking about the experience as opposed to the structure. Yeah.
Gems.
Okay, all right.
Gems. I gotta ask you, because as I said, this episode is about religion. Do you think there's a spiritual aspect to acting in theater?
There is. If you talk to stage actors, oftentimes you'll get this response along the lines of, there's just a little extra something they get from the audience. You know, whether you call it collaborative energy or you call it some type of spiritual component, to the whole theater experience. Audience is not just there watching, there is an exchange, and it's beautiful. And the audience is sitting there learning about what it is to be a human through theater performance. It's a beautiful thing.
That was another riveting game of 6 Degrees of Separate Weigh-Ins with my guest, Mr. Michael Taylor, host of Theater Corner. The word gospel is taken from the term gospel, meaning good story or good telling. Rap music is built from the foundation of language. From preachers to urban prophets to African griots, those skilled with the gift of rap help us process life experiences, and in doing so, help define culture. Even the passing of rap mixtapes is similar to Fellowship of the Word. Legendary pop musicians like Aretha Franklin and Sam Cooke had their roots in secular music and went on to create some of the best pop music in history. And artists like Kanye West, topping the Christian album charts with his Jesus is King project, once again shows the power of the gospel. I'm gonna close out this episode with a song I've probably been playing for, I don't know, maybe 2 years straight. This is an LA artist. Her name is Zzay. I love the way this beat slaps, but I kind of dig the subtlety and the positivity in this song. Yeah. Stay safe out there.
Keep it to yourself if it's negative. I'll be rolling high, got no gifts to give. I've been laying low, you're not invited to my crib. I've seen it all before, I've seen it all before. Keeping to myself like a hidden gem. Strength from my steps, balance with my stance. Sitting in my throne here, I've been sitting in my throne here. I keep a fire inside. I know you're feeling my light. I know you see it burns bright. I know you feel it's alright. I see your shine, it burns bright. Don't you ever worry about me. I've been high up in my zone, don't worry about me. I've been high up in my zone, don't worry about me. And we making all the noise and you listening. And we doing all the things that you wish you did. Like back in my day, we didn't have the internet. Vinyl bumping out the cylinder, ego shedding. Tell me how you feeling, man. Are you feeling me? I know you're feeling me, feeling me. Keep it to yourself if it's negative. I'll be rolling high, got no fix to give. I've been laying low, you're not invited to my crib. I've seen it all before, I've seen it all before. Keeping to myself like a hidden gem. Strength from my steps, balance with my stance. Sitting in my throne here, I've been sitting in my throne here. I feel the waves you ignite. Just feel the magic inside. I need the ways that you ride. Galactic energy is what you bring to me. Now the smoke is clouded. We dance along the sound waves. We burn along the moonlight. We burn along the moonlight. Self, if it's negative, I'll be rolling high. Got no ghost to give. I've been laying low, you're not invited to my crib. I've seen it all before, seen it all before. Keeping to myself like a hidden gem. Strength from my stance, balance with my stance. Sitting in my throne here, I've been sitting in my throne here.
This episode is dedicated to the memory of Earl Simmons, aka DMX. Salute.
You go down in history forever. You go down in history forever. You go down in history. What?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Did I get the names right for the reindeer?
The Parker Edison Project is produced and hosted by yours truly, Parker Edison, and the good people at Platform Collection. Be sure to subscribe and catch the next episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, visit theparkeredisonproject.com or hit us on Instagram at the PE Project. My guy Kurt Kohnen is audio production manager. Kinsey Moore-Lynn is my favorite podcast coordinator. Lisa J. Morissette is operations manager, and John Decker is associate general manager for content. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explore Content Fund. I love saying that because it reminds me of Sesame Street. Y'all stay safe out there.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.